I am Josh. I'm a recruiter here at Atlas MedStaff.
And my name is Leah. I'm a traveler with Atlas MedStaff.
So my traveler is actually my wife. She's the one that brought me to Atlas.
I had been traveling with Atlas for about a year, and we live full-time in our RV. We do a lot of traveling on the road, and we would have these really fantastic conversations with my recruiter from Atlas while we were driving on the road, talking about, life and travel and assignments and things like that. And they kind of started connecting, and my recruiter recruited him to Atlas. The pros. I spent a long time as staff. I was probably at my hospital in the neurotrauma ICU for about 8 years before, took another staff job and kind of experienced, it was kind of hard to leave the nest. But after I did that first other job contract, I realized that nurses are fantastic across the board. It's kind of the same salad everywhere you go. It just has some different toppings on it, how places do it and stuff. And so when we decided we wanted to explore the country and live in our RV, travel nursing was the perfect way to do it. We can spend 3 or 4 months in one location, get to know the people, and everywhere I have been has been a really decent, the nurses are great and they're happy to have you, and you get to kind of learn some new things and then share with them the things that you know. My only disappointing part is that I have a high skill set in the ICU, and you don't always get to do that when you travel. You're there to fill in, you're there to do what the hospital needs. It's kind of cool when they'll ask you for something once they kind of get to know you, and you can help out with different patients, like trauma patient populations and things like that. So that's been the only thing. Is I used to precept a lot, I used to teach, and you don't really do that when you travel, but when you spend enough time at a place, they kind of get to know you and they know what your skill set is, and then they'll kind of start incorporating you in and using you to kind of your full potential as a nurse. So given our RV is about 340 square feet, if there's anything, I can just kind of yell from one end of our house to the other, hey, I have questions about, I get an answer pretty quickly, you always got one pretty quick when you text and stuff back, but it's nice to have somebody who's kind of as dedicated as Josh is, and he treats all of his nurses that way. I've had the opportunity to talk to some of them that were scared about going into traveling, and I've had the opportunity just to kind of give them some of the experiences that I've had, which I know.
Do you want to go first?
I did a lot of research before I picked a travel company, and I looked at kind of the different reviews and what was out there, and there was, I have to give a shout out to No Ordinary Path, because that's how we ended up finding Atlas and stuff. And so we looked in lots of different companies and read the reviews, but Atlas had a really good reputation within the industry, and then of course had some good, personal recommendations and stuff from them. So working with Atlas has been easy. Even before you were my recruiter, everything was real straightforward. I had a recruiter who talked to me, who explained things, who helped me get up and going. The first contract was the most difficult. So even the onboarding process, the first go around with Atlas, I didn't really have any issues with. And I've never had an issue with my pay. I've never had an issue with, any of the things that a lot of people complain about with their travel companies.
What I enjoy about Atlas is they allow us to get to know the nurses. They allow us to build a relationship. It's not just, you have to get this nurse, pass them off to someone. I'm with you from day one, and then, years later. Every step of the way, you have questions with compliance, your pay, benefits. I will be there for you. And being able to be that sole point of contact, I feel like is very beneficial to every nurse out there, instead of having to bounce around trying to find answers on their own.
You must be flexible, and you must go into traveling with the mindset that you're there to help. You might know more than some people. A lot of people might know more than you. It's the opportunity to kind of learn new ways to do things. There's a million different ways to accomplish the same thing, as long as you're patient safety and you're following, the proper procedures and stuff. There's a million different ways you can do it. But you have to kind of go in with the mindset of always try and be a little extra personable. I'll never sit down without offering help or a turn or something to the people around me. So you kind of have to go into traveling with the mindset of you are temporary, you are there to fill in the needs that they have, and whatever you can do to make the staff a little bit easier and to help out is always has been a good approach for me. I haven't really had any issues with, like I said, with staff and the traveling. So just going in there with that mindset helps a lot. Because I worked staff through the worst of COVID in 2020, and I had the opportunity to interact with a lot of people that were traveling through Phoenix, where I was downtown. And so having talked to some other people, and it was like, oh, I'm from here and I'm from there. And then we decided that it would be cool to see some more of the country and to live full time in our RV. And once you go down that rabbit hole, there's a lot of support groups, people out there, and travel nursing fit exactly with how we kind of wanted to live the next few years of our life.
So we have about the next year and a half, maybe a little longer, planned out. We're currently in Southern California. We're gonna head to Nevada, we're gonna drive up to Alaska, then head to the Midwest, then go to the southeast of the United States, and then to the northeast, and then settle down somewhere.